Hello, hello, hello. Hey, Adita, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Hello. How are you?
I am great, thank you. How are you?
Good. Ready
So
to share.
tell me, what area of the country are you in now?
I am in South Florida in Palm Beach County. They call this Wellington. It's a horse country.
Oh, that's right, because you have a daughter that does horses.
Yep.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, y'all. Today we are talking about weight loss strategies, even if you are not a nutritionist or a dietitian. So, I have brought in my dear friend and former client, Adita Lang, because she is a corporate wellness expert. She works with groups and individuals all over around health and wellness. And she has got weight loss programs that she puts clients through. So, first, let me allow you to just introduce yourself, Adita. Please give us all of your, give us the dog and pony show here.
Well, the Dog and Pony Show is I started back in fitness before we even had idea. So that's way back then. I started with vinyl records, barefoot on concrete, teaching my classes. And when the song was over, everything stopped because I had to find the next record that was going to be played. So that's how I
Remember
started.
the day.
Remember the day. And so from there, I taught at the very first idea conference with Ken Allen. And I was 18 years old and I was like, this is cool. Look at all these people. And this is so much fun and music. And so from there on, I just traveled the world teaching fitness. And I got, anchored in by the National Academy of Sports Medicine and started teaching for them when we would do actual live classes with groups of people and travel around as a group. So I was very embedded with them and, became a faculty member with ACE and became a faculty member with ISCA and IFTA and all these other people. So I've been around the block several times in the fitness
Everybody
industry.
loves you. You know everybody. I know that.
It's my home. These are my people. All of you listening, you're my people. You really are. It's to me, it's kind of like we're a big old sorority fraternity type thing. You don't see each other for a while, but then you go to a conference and you're like, hey, here we are.
It's like
But
old
at
times.
the end of the day, when I had first started into fitness, I was going to school for exercise physiology. And I was traveling so much with NASM that it was really difficult for me to go to school. I was going to University of Miami, and it was really hard for me to go to school. So one of my mentors, Dr. Mark Slavin and Tom Purvis, they all said, you really should do homeschool, and that way you can travel with us, and there'd be no problems. And I'd be like,
There was
oh,
homeschool back then?
there was but homeschool, baby. Homeschool was a box of books.
Oh, yes.
Literally, I had a suitcase of my school that traveled with me when I traveled to all these venues. And so then I got a degree in holistic nutrition from there.
Oh, very cool.
That is what I ended up with. I started with exercise physiology, ended with holistic nutrition. And I am so glad I did that because that was a component that was missing. You can't just do fitness and assume you're going to have a fierce physique. If you're eating, cereal and Diet Coke, it's not going to work that way. So that was a real big game changer for me. And then after that, probably about 6 or 7 years ago, maybe longer, actually, maybe 10 years ago, I did the holistic lifestyle coach with Paul Chek. And I think for me, that was like the other completion to the puzzle where all of a sudden like, oh, now I get it. Now I can really help people.
Because of that lifestyle component piece.
It's a lifestyle component. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so you kind of led us right into the first thing that we wanted to talk about. So, hello, everybody. Adita's with me. I'm Kelly. I help health entrepreneurs, especially in the beginning stages, create a business, make a leveraged business plan so that you're not just going from session to session and client to client and gym to gym. So, Adita is a former client. I helped her separate out her audiences and figure out what she was selling so that that whole process could be more leveraged. And that's what I do. Adita is a health and wellness coach extraordinaire. I would say tens of thousands of people in your reach every single month with your corporate work and your one-to-one work. And today we're going to talk about delivering weight loss to clients. So the first thing that I had put down on my little loose list here of what we wanted to talk about is the state of weight loss in our industry. Some people listening are fitness coaches, some people listening are health coaches, I've got doctors and nurses and all kinds of different people in this group. But what I'm finding with a lot of people who coach clients is that they don't want to talk about weight loss. It's kind of started to become a dirty word because it's so overdone, and it became such a draw, especially in the fitness industry. You saw everybody selling six-pack abs to 25-year-olds, and there's just so much more that we do for people. And so we wanted to get out there and start talking about the benefits when you're in menopause, the benefits to your sleep, the benefits to your mental health. And so weight loss started to become a little bit of a dirty word with coaches. But the truth is, so many of your people are coming to you because that is at least a piece of what they need from you.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. And here's the thing. I think that if you really peel the onion of all this, maybe it's not weight loss. Maybe we just want to help people get healthier.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the factors that end up occurring because we're getting them healthier is that they lose some weight so that they can reach whatever their balanced weight is.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Way of approaching it, because I've dealt with so many different people, and now especially in the corporate wellness sector, I am dealing with the average person, right?
Mm-hmm.
For the average person, I can't go in there talking about weight loss because that insults some people, but I can go in there and talk about eating healthier and having more energy and reducing stress. And
that's really interesting. So what we find when we're going direct to consumer outside of a corporate environment is that the weight loss message can be like the sexy thing that gets attention a lot of times, but it's not what we want to be talking about. It's not what we want to be focused on for the exact same reasons.
And I think that it's the sexiness of it has gotten to the point where we started limiting our audience. Yes, it is sexy.
Mm-hmm.
There are, I know a lot of my fitness friends, they have these fierce bodies. They're on there, they're showing them off, and they're really trying to push whatever their weight loss thing is, but they're missing the actual audience that needs it.
Yeah, agreed.
And
the other piece of that is that you come across people who have been burned or have failed so many times that they don't want to talk about it anymore.
Well, I think a big thing with this is that, so when I go into a group, I went into a group the other day, huge company, they make the frames for houses, to be honest, but there was 200 people in that group, right? 200 people. So I sat there and I said, let me just start off by this. We all metabolize foods differently. So that means that I can put all of you on the Adita diet. Some of you will lose weight. Some of you will gain weight. Some of you will feel really icky, and some of you will feel amazing because we metabolize foods differently. So we have to figure out as individuals what works for us. And I think that's the reason that a lot of people have been burned by different weight loss protocols, because it doesn't match their metabolism. It doesn't match their body and what their body needs. That's the key right there.
And so I know that you have two things that we kind of want to talk about today that can help the health professional to serve their clients. You've got a nutrition certification and you've got a weight loss program that they can take and kind of plug and play and put groups through. Mm-hmm. How do you account for that kind of individualism within your certification and within your program?
Well, first off, let me just kind of backtrack, because there is this big difference between like a dietitian and a nutritionist and a nutritional coach. And I think that the fitness industry got a really bad rap. And the reason they got a bad rap of teaching nutrition is because people prescribed, and they didn't do it intentionally. They said, hey, Kelly, I know you want to lose weight. I want you to try this protein powder. I just prescribed. And so then, unfortunately, there were several people out there that died. Like literally, they died from taking a protein powder because there was something in the protein powder that did not mix with their meds. But the trainer didn't know that, right?
Yes.
So the dietitian, they are more in the prescription venue. They are the ones who prescribe supplementation. They are the ones who can prescribe a very specific diet, but... And for those of you who are dietitians out there, don't get mad at me what I'm going to say, because I know that you guys are all different too. Some are really structured and some are a little bit more loose. So please don't.
And you know what might be really helpful is if we had people comment on what their role is within the industry. So
that would be fantastic.
If you're watching live.
Yes. And actually, let me put this so I can see the comments too. Okay. So with that said, and again, all dietitians are not the same, but in general, I'm just going to generalize, is that they will prescribe supplementation and they work with calories, specific calories. And see, in my world, what I teach, I'm teaching about foods. So it's more important to me, the quality of your food than the calorie content. And so what I did years and years ago, and it's probably now been 20 years, I designed the nutritional coach certification, and it was for fitness professionals. And you don't prescribe in that. All you do is you learn about foods, you learn about how to teach about foods, and then you teach people to figure out their own personal food plan. I don't even call the word diet. I don't use the word diet. It's a food plan.
And by the way, you guys, I'm going through the nutritional coach certification over the next few weeks. So if you want to join me, I'm going to put the link in the comments. I'd love to have you there with me.
Yeah, that would be wonderful. And we could even do like a small group where we could talk about it too. So,
ooh, I love it. Y'all comment if you're interested in that. I love that idea.
I put that certification together, and you'll notice it in several people. I've got probably about 400 coaches. We meet monthly. I do a monthly webinar for them so that we can kind of talk about things going on with business, with our clients, with issues, all that kind of stuff. Because to me, the whole nutrition and health thing is so important. And we're missing the ball game by strictly training a client with weights or cardio. Like, we're missing the ball game. When I teach about health and fitness, it's the 4 pillars of health. So it's going to be your exercise and movement, food and nutrition, sleep and relaxation, and happiness. And together,
so important.
Yep. That makes a healthy person.
I know over the last few years, I apologize if this is a little bit of an aside, but I think it's part of what you just said. I know over the last few years, they've been talking about how exercise is less and less of a component of your body composition. So, it used to be like in the 80s and 90s when the fitness industry first started, we were trying to exercise away fat. You would even say something like a piece of pizza is like this many minutes on a treadmill. We don't do that anymore. And you're hearing more and more that exercise is only 10% or exercise is only 20%. What's your opinion on the kind of, I guess, percentages of each of those when it comes to a healthy body?
See, that I think that's you can't give a percentage.
Okay.
The reason you can't give a percentage is you can put 2 people, they both weigh, let's just say they both weigh 140 pounds. One is 140 muscular pounds. One is 140 fat-based pounds. Okay. Muscular person, their body's going to be more efficient doing less work. Right? So you can't say specifically this percentage. You just can't do it because all of us are different. Some of us have longer muscles. Some of us have more fast twitch muscles. Some of us has more slow twitch muscles. It really depends on our own personal composition that makes us who we are as to how much exercise do we need to do. What I try to do though, and when you're looking at the average customer, again, we got to really think of the average customer because that's where we're missing the boat. It's really easy to get that client who just like loves to exercise. They're dying to lose weight. That's an easy client. But the average person who's having, diabetes, they're obese, they've got smoking problems, they're stressed out, they've got all these other issues. Those are the hard ones to get. And one of the things that I've been doing more and more of, and I know you said about like, a long time ago when we were teaching, there is a mistake I made. I lied to people. I'm going to tell you this now. I lied. So when I first started teaching, I would tell people you need 60 minutes of exercise 3 to 4 days a week. Right?
That wasn't a lie. That's what we were taught.
Well, that's what we were taught. But unfortunately, though, here's where it gets tricky. So when someone would come to me and they'd go, "Oh, Adita, I tried working out yesterday. I only got 48 minutes in." And I'd be like, "What did you do? You need 60." Like 60 was a magic number. And it wasn't. And so now, ACSM.
No, it really wasn't. We know now that we need less,
so
especially as you get older.
A while back said, listen, you need 150 to 300 minutes. Basically, they don't need to be consistent. You basically need to increase your heart rate, break out into a sweat, and lift some heavy things here and there. Okay. So I can do that gardening. And I can do that, I don't know, doing a home improvement project, right? So I try to, it sounds.
That is so funny because that's what it was in my mind, because there are a lot of times when we're in the middle of a renovation and there are a lot of times when I'm carrying like wood upstairs for hours and hours a day. And I'm like, I am not working out today.
Correct. But you know what though? You should be able to say that to yourself confidently without going, oh, I guess I should have worked out, but and I'm
Yeah.
giving myself guilt for it, where it's kind of like, no, you moved.
Yeah.
Moved. And I want you to give credit for you moving. So now that's been my big thing, is when I meet with clients and groups, is I want to encourage them that it doesn't mean you have to go to a gym.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, if you put pep in your step in Costco, and maybe it normally takes you an hour, and today it took you 30 minutes because you really zoomed through those aisles, guess what? You got 30 minutes of activity in.
Adita, you and I need to hang out more, because you're talking all my language here. Home improvements in Costco.
Well, I mean, but that's life though. You
Yeah.
know, it's, again, we're dealing with a very small population of men and women who are obsessed with the gym, who go there all the time, who listen to what we have to say and just, do X amount of reps, X amount of set. That's a really small percentage. I
Mhm.
prefer to deal with the masses. I prefer to somehow create a light bulb moment for 10 of those 200 workers that I spoke to the other day. And I actually had more light bulb moments than that. And I was like, yes, this is exciting, right? Because I want to change something, just something that's going to make them a little bit healthier.
That's so good. I a lot of times I'll say in some of the lessons that I do that 80% of the population does not have an existing movement practice in place. Only 20% really does. And it really does follow the Pareto principle. That when you were saying that you talked to 200 people, you probably had 40 that you changed some aspect of their life, because it's 20%.
Now I'm on this big old kick, and all of you fitness professionals out there, listen up. You got clients that are sitting at their desk for like hours on end. Either they're at home sitting at their desk, or they're in an office sitting at their desk. For every hour, they need to get up for 5 minutes, and ideally move with intention. And if you think about it, when we're looking at that 150 to 300 minutes of activity, if you've got an 8-hour day and you do that every hour, you got a 40-minute workout by the time you're done with work. And all I'm
Oh my
asking,
gosh, that's so cool. And that's not even something a boss would like blink an eye at. Like, I'm going to move for 5 minutes.
oh yeah. And it can be something as simple. Listen, here's the thing, is when you move for 5 minutes, right now we're sitting here, we're staring at the computer, right? So we're focused. So let's just say we have this deadline we've got to do. So we're sitting here focused. So when you get away from this, you move for 5 minutes, I don't know, push-ups, sit-ups, you walk around the neighborhood calling people, dance like no one's watching, whatever. You come back here, guess what? You look at this differently. You all of a sudden get more ideas. You're a little bit more awake. You problem solve better. So like, hey, that's better than sitting there going, oh, I'm bored with Kelly, so I'm just going to scroll for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Right.
Pro tip, you guys, for social media content, movement snacks do really well. Little 5-minute live video at like 2:30 in the afternoon when people are going to go to the vending machine and get a Snickers bar. Those are huge, and those can really allow you to develop relationships with people that you haven't met yet, and possibly have them come into your coaching orbit.
Yep, completely. And that 2 o'clock time, remember that 2 o'clock time, you have to look at East Coast, West Coast. So now you can have several of them if you really wanted to. But that 2 o'clock time is when people start getting sleepy. That's because their adrenal glands are fatigued, and that's when they start going down. So if you can give them a boost of energy without a cup of coffee, that's golden.
True story.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we talked about the difference between dietitian and nutritionist. Say that one more time, just so in case anybody's taking notes or missed it.
I think the primary premise of that is that if you're a fitness or health coach, right, don't be shy about helping your clients with nutrition as long as you're teaching food-based nutrition. You are not prescribing food-based nutrition. So you can't be sued. And this is coming from, I'm an expert witness for health-related clients. It's really, it's kind of funny.
Like in lawsuits, like in actual
yeah. So I come in as the expert, right? And so here's the thing, you can't get sued for telling somebody to eat more apple, but you can get sued for prescribing vitamin C.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let's eat more apples, right? So that's the difference. So with that, we can teach about food. And that is a really powerful
That's good news.
And we were talking about how fitness is no longer just the whole thing, right? The food portion of it is a huge aspect of this puzzle of exercise and wellness. When I was talking about the 4 pillars, the only 2 pillars that are missing now is going to be our sleep and relaxation, and our happiness, right? So then when we put all 4 things together, we have a really healthy individual, and we have a long-lasting client, by the way.
So good.
Because then we're making true impacts. True impact. And that is the key to all of this, because
that's why we do what we do. It's not, I mean, getting up in front of a group and leading a really good workout and walking around with your adrenaline going, that feels great. But we do what we do for the people that come to us and say, you changed my life. I can now chase my grandkids. I can now, go on vacation, and I was on the couch before.
Yep. And that's, it's an important factor. And people don't put that emphasis on the food thing, because the food industry has done so well to make us believe that all this other stuff is healthy too. It's not. We need to stick to more whole foods and minimize the processed foods. That is what's going to make us healthy. I always tell people, you have to envision your favorite sports car. And if I could give everybody a Maserati, that's my favorite sports car. But here's an interesting fact. I met with a mechanic once. I don't know, we were in a social setting, and he said that if somebody gives a Maserati regular gasoline, within 1 week, it won't drive and perform the same way. 1 week, right? So your body is a mechanism, but it's a highly tuned, highly functional machine. So what you give it has a direct correlation with your energy, how you age, what you're doing, what you can do forever, all those kind of things. It has to do with that foundation.
So good. I had Tammy Lee Webb on a while back, and you just reminded me of something that she said, and I repeat it to people all the time. But she said muscle doesn't age. So, we used to prescribe an hour of exercise. It used to be cardio based. We're seeing now that people need to keep their muscle up, that'll feed your metabolism, but it also just keeps feeding all of the other aspects of health so much.
Well, here's an interesting fact about muscle. So, everyone gets all these coordinated, oh my God, how much protein should I eat? Should I eat all this? They're all crazy about protein. But here's an interesting thing about protein. Protein requires a storage facility. Now, we need protein for repair from a cold, repair from a flu.
To say something important, and you froze.
Oh, you froze on my end. Okay.
Okay. There we go. Okay. So you said, here's the interesting thing about protein.
Okay. Protein needs a storage facility. Okay. So, and we need protein to repair. So we need it to repair from a cold. We need it to repair from an injury. We need protein for these things. But here's the interesting thing. Your muscles is the storage facility. So if you don't really train your muscles, you're not storing enough protein for when you really need it. So let's say you don't lift weights. Okay, let's just say you don't, right? And so all of a sudden you get sick and you trip and fall. You break a foot or something, right? So you got to repair. Your body needs repair. So in theory, at that moment, you're going to have to start eating a ton of protein, because that's what your body needs for repair. Most people don't do that. So repair takes longer. But what if you just walked around with your own storage facility and you got injured? And so now you got the storage on you, right? So that's one of the benefits of having muscle. Then the other part of it is that your body becomes more efficient at burning calories. Again, going back to my 2 people on a treadmill, you got a muscular person and a person who has no muscle on them, right? They're both doing the treadmill. The muscular person will burn almost twice as many calories doing the same activity, because muscle is heavier. It requires more effort to move.
Love it. I've never heard somebody speak about either of those things in that way. That was great. You guys make sure you take some notes if you're taking notes, and write both of those points down. Those are great to bring to clients.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I would love to transition a little bit here and talk about leading groups through weight loss programs, specifically because I know that you have written a program that you're kind of just starting to put out there as something that a trainer could put a group through. So it's something where you as a trainer or a health coach could grab it and put a whole group through this program. Tell me a little bit more.
Okay, so what I did was I created, and I'm still actually thinking about changing the name, as especially we keep talking about weight loss, and weight loss isn't really the end game. The end game is about being healthy, but right now it's called Weight Loss Mastery, and it is about 5 chapters. They're really brief videos, but it's kind of like the same way I've been speaking to you guys in regards to muscle and to this. I want it to be easily. I wanted people to take in this information and go, oh, I never thought of it that way. It makes sense to me now. So the entire course is like that. And I break it up into the 4 pillars. So we've got our food and nutrition, exercise and movement, sleep and relaxation, and happiness. I created the program the way that I sell the program is I have the program as self-paced, which means someone just takes it online, they do their thing, or they can upsell it. And so now the upsell is you can be group coached with me, plus you have the program, or upsell again, you can do one-on-one with me, group coach with me, or have the program by itself. So that combination of the 3, you guys trainers could take that over. I don't need to be doing the group coaching for your clients. Let me tell you that. And I don't need to be doing the one-on-one for your clients either. So you could actually, I can help you set it up where you would only have the self-paced, and then you would sell your services as the upsells to that self-paced program. And then that way you don't have to create the program, but it's there and you push it to your clients, and then you do all the coaching for them.
I love this, love this, love this. Okay, so I'm going to pull up the sales page and show exactly how this would work. If I had a group, let's say I've got 10 people, I already know I want to go through them. Give me 1 second. Let me
The sales page that you're going to pull up is the sales page that sells my group coaching and my one-on-one.
Yes.
So the one,
this is not what they would use. They would probably just get straight with you.
Sales page, to be honest, except it wouldn't offer you the 3 variations. It would only offer you the self-paced. And then if they had a button,
there's the 3 variations.
If they had a button that went to their stuff, we could add it to the page.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So what a coach would do, let's say you've got a group of 10 people, you're going to buy the self-paced for all. Well, I think the easiest way to do it would be they just buy the self-paced for each of the people, and then they charge them what they want for the accountability or the accountability plus.
Correct.
Does that sound right?
Well, if they want to I try to make this and streamline this as best as I can. I have probably right now 10 coaches that are using this program. And right now, as you see, it says $39.
Okay.
It's only until January 31st. From there, I'm bumping it up. But the way that we did it was they have a page, and it's the same page, and it has the self-paced, which someone will sign up for. And then it's got a button that will be the upsell that will go to that trainer's information so that the trainer can sell them whatever they want to sell them from there.
So you create a page for them on your site.
Yes.
Okay. So if you've got a group that you want to bring through this program, get with Adita. You can click on her name in any of the tags on this, and you can message her, or you can go through her website, aditalang.com, and get to her that way. And then you guys can create a custom way to get everybody registered into your group so that you can bring them through this program.
Correct.
I would say the first step for most of these coaches is for them to go through it.
Absolutely. And sign up now before January 31st, because I'm about to bump up that price.
There we go. There we go. Adita, this is the reason that I brought Adita on, is because when I heard that she's got coaches that are leading people through one of her programs, I got really excited and I contacted her right away. We've got Trisha, who's a client of mine, and she's leading a group through this program. And I know how knowledgeable you are. I know how much you care about getting results for people. And so I really wanted to get on and talk about this program and get more coaches bringing groups through this with Adita as like the leader for the leaders.
And I want to kind of throw in there. So one of my things is I want to make this healthy stuff easy for people to digest. I am pretty OCD about the way I eat, what I drink, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, I am. And I'm the first to admit it. But if I lead a group, I'm going to talk about red meat. I'm going to talk about chicken. I'm going to talk about being vegetarian or plant, whatever it is. I'm going to talk about all of it, because we have to be able to speak to all of the people in their level, to be very honest. When I started in the corporate wellness, I taught for Cigna. And Cigna would actually give me a thumb drive with a very specific, heart healthy, whatever seminar. And I put the thumb drive in, and I literally would stand there and regurgitate their stuff. But it was all statistics. It was pretty boring. And it wasn't no one could leave from that seminar with a doable action item. And it was killing me. So I kind of started tweaking it myself.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I didn't get in trouble. I just got more clients from it. What can I say? But that was the thing that really kind of set that light bulb out. No one wants to hear about statistics and all that. They want to know, okay, well, I'm in my kitchen. How can I make a meal quicker?
Yeah.
That's the bottom line. I hate to cook.
Which is why you do a lot of recipe stuff on your
Yes,
website and in your
and I'll do
social.
cooking class, and I'm not a chef. I'm not a chef, but I do cooking classes, and I do cooking classes to show people how quick and easy something is, and how you can store it in the refrigerator, and what are the nutritional values of it. So that's what I try to push with them. So we know all these pieces of the puzzle. You know, when I talked about the 4 pillars, they're important, but they're important for us to kind of like tell our story and the things we've been through, because it makes it easier for us to teach. If you're not eating well, all you trainers out there, if you're not eating well, it's super difficult for you to really teach and impact somebody to eat well.
And it happens so often too.
Well, you know, here's a prime example. So one of the most beautiful things I got from Paul Chek when I was taking his course is he said, never go to a doctor that doesn't look like you want them to look, like that they're not preaching what they're saying, right? So if a client of mine, her cardiologist is overweight, he's practically obese, and smokes cigarette, why are you listening to him? I mean, seriously, right? So that applies to us too, guys. So if we're going to sit there and preach healthy habits, we need to be living it well. We need to be doing the best that we can.
True story.
Mm-hmm.
I think there are a lot of, especially trainers, that you're going to see within, the viewership of this video, that they're running from client to client or from facility to facility. Their time is not leveraged, and they just they're exhausted. So they are going through McDonald's. They are doing all the things like on the way from client to client. So you guys, if you're in that boat, and I did not mean to make this a commercial for my services, but you have to get leveraged. You cannot be burning the candle at both ends, not taking care of your own self, and then out there preaching self-care to your clients. So if you are in that boat, you have to figure out the way to leverage your special sauce and your services so that you're making the same amount of money or more, and not working from 4 a.m. till 10 at night.
Well, and I think there's 2 other things that go along with that too, Kelly, is that one is some clients can suck the energy out of you. Like there are some clients, and I've been there, I've been one of those, right? So there were some clients that like I had them because they paid me really good money and they were just making me crazy, but I just dealt with it. Well, unfortunately, you soak in that dealing with it. You really do. And that ends up creating your day. And then you're not as sweet to other people. So the reality is if you want to keep clients for a long time, you have to realize that whatever you put in to yourself, be it food, someone's emotions, someone's irritability, whatever you put in is going to be pushed out at the same time. And not to toot my own horn, but I have several clients that I've had for 30 years. They've left me, they've trained with other people, but you know what I always know? They come back.
They're coming back.
Miracle. It is. They'll go through all the stuff. They'll come back to me with some horrible habits, some bad posture, and they'll be like, oh, my back is killing me. I don't know what to do. And I'm like, don't worry, we're going to fix this now, right? But that's because I have created a certain air with them. And I think too, that as I developed as a professional in this industry, I realized how stress was so bad. And it was not helping me. It was not helping me to be my best trainer that I could. So I started letting go of those clients that were too much of a pain in the you-know-what to deal with. I started letting go, even though that might have cut my salary a little bit for a period of time. Doesn't matter. You'll get new clients back. It'll always happen.
Boundaries and leverage. That's the key.
Yep. Absolutely.
So good. Adita, thank you so much for being here. You guys, if you want more information about Adita, go to aditalang.com. Click on her link here. I'm gonna tag her here in the comments so that you can click on that and message her.
And feel free to reach out to me if you guys have questions. I'm really easygoing. Like seriously, it's reach out. We can set up a chat on the phone. All good.
Love it. I love it. Thank you for offering that. All right, you guys. So check out the weight loss mastery program. If you've got groups that you want to put through that, I think that could be a huge cash injection for a lot of the people that are watching right now. And the other piece is the nutritional. Tell me the name of your nutritional
The
certification.
nutritional coach certification.
Nutritional coach certification. I'm going to put a post in the group, and I'm going to ask if you guys are interested in putting a group together so that we could go through that certification together. So all that would require is buying the certification through Adita. I probably wouldn't do any upcharge on that. And then we could all get together and discuss the materials and take the test.
That would be great.
Love it. All right, Adita, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yeah.
All right. You guys, we will see you next Monday at 11. And I'll be sending out an email with the topic. Adita, thank you again.
You're
We will
welcome.
see you soon.
Bye.